Hey, what's up, folks? Kayak DIY here. And today, well, we're on lockdown. So we are stuck at the house, and I was trying to think of things to do the past few days because of the lockdown. And I was like, maybe I should start working on the boat again. And it was perfect timing, actually, because I got more parts for the boat. So I was waiting for a jack plate that will fit on the back of the transom, and that jack plate came in. So since I'm on lockdown here at the house and I can't go anywhere, I might as well work on the boat. Hey, Steven, how's it going? Hopefully everything's going well for you. So I've been putting a lot of time into this boat in the last 24, 48 hours. And I flipped it on its side temporarily because I've been sanding the boat. And I originally was thinking, since the boat was painted on the bottom portion, that I would just get another polyurethane paint and paint the bottom. But I wanted to do things right, and I like to do things once. I don't like to have to redo them. So I decided I'm going to actually re-gel coat the bottom of the boat. And FGCI makes a really good brushable gel coat. It is one that self-levels really well, and so I can just brush it on. I can actually use a roller and do the roll tip method. So you use a roller and then you follow up with a brush, and that gel coat will lay on there, and then it hardens. Gel coat is actually like a resin, and it hardens really hard, and it's like really thick, versus paint, like a topside paint or like a polyurethane, is thin. It's like paper thin. And so if you end up running the boat next to a dock, it will go right through that paint. So I decided we're gonna gel coat. Now let's look at the other part of the boat. So this is kind of what the front portion or the top side part of the boat is. So we got some spots where we have hatches right here and here, and then this middle one allows me to put really long items in the hull, and it basically runs all the way under the deck. So I'll show that to you now. So looking in there, you can see actually the original inside of the boat. So there's that. This is going to be like a live well. That will be like a bait well, live well. And right here in this spot and on this spot right here, I ended up actually burying PVC pipe, and it allows me to run electrical from here. So I can have a battery here, and it will run electrical through the PVC pipe. And I haven't fiberglassed this part yet, but you'll see a blue like pipe there. It'll run through there, and it will run all the way up to the bow. So I can run electrical through there to the bow. And that PVC pipe is covered with fiberglass, so you aren't gonna see it. So I like buried the pipe into the gunnel, if that kind of makes sense. You can kind of maybe see it a little bit better there. So that's PVC pipe with fiberglass over top of it. And yeah, that's kind of how that is. This whole deck area is actually a marine grade ply. It's marine grade plywood. I wish I could have got a really good deal or found some like, oh gosh, what do they call it? Like a honeycomb core or Nida core, which is really lightweight. But I wasn't finding good prices on that. And quite frankly, actually, if I go alone on my own on this boat anyway, there's going to be a lot of weight in the back. And having a little extra weight up in the front here will actually pull the bow down, and it'll plane out quicker. So it actually works out in my favor. A couple days ago, I ended up getting a really cool grab rail, and I'll show that to you right now, but it's going to sit like right here, the grab rail is, and it has like a cooler holder. So I got stuff all over here. I got my sander that I've been using. So I've just been using a polisher sander from Harbor Freight. And then at Harbor Freight, they have like a big 50 pack of these discs, and I'm using 80 grit. I tried this sander, but this sander doesn't do anything. Like, it does not even remotely go through that paint and gel coat, because that boat there, that white, is actually paint, and then underneath the paint was a brown gel coat. So here's a look at what's going to go for the grab rail. So the grab rail is going to actually be really nice. I can have my fish finder like mounted on here. I'll be able to grab right here, and the height and everything is just perfect when I set it on the boat. So I am super stoked that I found this. Someone was getting rid of it. They actually, it's brand new. You can actually still see the markings from when they made the bends of the pipe. But it's cool. It has rod holders right on each side, and the cooler can sit right there. The other benefit is if I have a passenger with, then they have something to grab onto when they're sitting on the boat. They can actually grab onto those, because this boat's gonna fly. We got a 25 horse Yamaha 2-stroke for it. And for the transom area, I have a jack plate, which is really cool. It just came out, and this jack plate is a manual jack plate. So there's no electrical involved, and it mounts right here, and there's like a little crank, and you can crank the outboard up and down in like seconds. So like in 10 seconds or less, you can adjust the outboard depth like 6 inches, which is just gonna be killer. So what you can see here is right there is paint. This I think is original gel coat, this like tan taupe color. And then this is the fiberglass underneath. So I'm sanding down to the fiberglass underneath, and then I will be re-gel coating the whole entire bottom. Let me know, please comment below what kind of color you think I should do. We're kind of stuck. I mean, I'm looking at like a seafoam color, or I'm looking at what they call a bikini blue. There's a couple other different colors that I've looked at. The wife really likes the seafoam color. If I did the seafoam color on the bottom, I would do a white gel coat on the top, and then there would be an EVA decking foam, kind of like you see on a lot of newer boats. You can get like ones that look like teak, like brown teak. But this whole side here would be like EVA decking. So just a second, I'm trying to see. Can everyone see okay? We got good reception, I think. So, but yeah, this is kind of a look at it. I mean, we got a big polling platform here. Got another rod holder mounted here. Hey, what's up, Amish? So I did do some reinforcement to the transom. I used, I think it's 1208 biax. So 1208 biax is a type of fiberglass cloth. I'm using general purpose polyester resin for all of the build for the most part, and it's FGCI brand. Yeah, so something you guys might not know about me is the reason why I haven't been kicking out videos lately is actually because I'm also a nurse. And so a couple days a week, I work as a nurse at a local hospital, and I've had to pick up more hours due to the coronavirus stuff going on. And so I want to actually right now shout out 3 kayak companies. So Mariner Sales, Burley Pro, and Lightning Kayaks are phenomenal. Those guys right away, when the coronavirus started hitting, they started making face shields for nurses, and they started sending me some so I could actually supply my hospital. And I'm almost getting a little choked up here. It's been hard at the hospitals. It's been really rough, and I know you guys are hearing about it. You guys are stressed out enough about it, so I'm not going to try to make you worry more about it. Right now, I think we're staying ahead. In New York, in certain areas, it's a little rough, but having those 3 kayak companies ship us face shields, I was able to bring some in to the hospital, and some of these nurses just broke down and cried. They were so happy. So think about those companies: Burley Pro, Mariner Sales, and Lightning Kayaks. Yak Attack is also doing some stuff. I haven't gotten anything from them yet, but those companies are the kind of companies that I think we should support as kayakers and as, you know, people out on the water, just because they're supporting the community right now. Anyway, back to the build. So So I actually lift up this whole boat with these davits. So these davits weren't here when I bought the house, but you can see here, they got a wide base and they're just bolted into this concrete block. And this concrete block has big legs actually. I ended up getting these davits completely free. Someone was listing them for sale and they put free on them. They just wanted someone to take them out of their backyard. And so we took an engine block crane and we grabbed them and we lifted them off and we put them on a trailer and brought them here. And they just dropped right on and bolted on. I did end up putting a brake winch on, which is pretty cool. Holds 2,500 pounds of weight. And I can easily move this boat up and out of the water with like one finger. I mean, it's that easy. So it's pretty dang cool. That's what I love about this boat is I love kayaks because kayaks are simple. They're easy to use. I don't have to think about it. I just get out on the water. Like this kayak right here, that's my Lightning kayak. I can just throw it in the water and go. I didn't want to have a boat that was going to be really hard to use, that was going to be more work for me. And so I'm fixing this up, and once I'm done with it, I'm going to be able to just easily drop it with these davits into the water. In fact, it's going to hang right over the water, and it won't even be sitting in the water. It'll just be sitting out here hanging. So this is a saltwater canal, and if it was sitting in the water, what I would want to do is, if it was sitting in the water 24/7, I would need to paint the bottom of the boat with anti-fouling paint. Anti-fouling paint usually has some type of copper in it, and it keeps stuff from growing on the bottom. That's something you have to do when you live in the coastal communities. But since this boat is not going to be sitting in the water 24/7, it's going to actually be suspended by these like mini cranes. I don't have to put anti-fouling paint. So I can just gel coat this whole bottom of the boat with whatever color we think is going to look best. So let me know what colors you like for boats. I'd like to know. I mean, because the wife and I are kind of split on it. I mean, this is my little baby here. I mean, I got a baby in the house, but this is like something I've always wanted to do a boat build. And this is my first one, and I'm having fun. I just don't know what color I'm gonna make it, because I'm gonna keep this boat for a very long time. I'm not gonna sell it. It's like the perfect size boat for everything down here. So comment and let me know what colors you would do if you were painting the boat. Also, if you have any tips or if you have any other things or suggestions, let me know those as well. The water has definitely been getting clearer lately. So, I am going to be returning to work on Tuesday to work at the hospital, and then Friday, Saturday, I'll be working at the hospital as well. But in between there, I'm going to try to be able to get more work done on the boat, try to film it, and try to be able to share it with you guys. If you guys want little sneak peeks, check out my Instagram. It's at Kayak DIY, and that's where I'll be sharing some little sneak peeks until I can edit a full video on the boat. But yeah, that's where we're at. In other news, I started a kayak rental business, but I haven't been able to open because it's not essential business, and so I started it and then I had to close it. But I started Grab and Go Kayaks in Cape Coral, Florida, and so I have kayak rentals now. And that's all part of the eventual goal of being able to be on the water more. And so I don't know how much longer I'm going to do nursing, but I do love what I do at the hospital. I'm a vascular nurse, and I actually I access people's vessels. That's what I do. So pick lines, midlines, ports, all those crazy things that go in a vein, that's what I do. But what are you guys doing? What are some of the things that you guys are doing with this lockdown? Are your states on lockdown? Or, I mean, is it I haven't been able to look to see how many states are on lockdown. I'm in Florida, and we're pretty much supposed to stay at home. We have a stay-at-home order. But I don't know how many other states are having that. My parents live in Iowa, and I believe they have a stay-at-home order now. But they don't have many cases because everyone's spread out, and social distancing is kind of just the norm in Iowa and that whole Midwest area. There's not a lot of people that are on top of each other versus New York. But anyway, if no one's commenting, which I don't see anyone commenting, I'll probably just cut this video. And I just basically wanted to say hi. So, hey, Cape Coral's where you got your scuba certification? Oh, probably at like Scuba Quest. Yeah. Next time. Oh, cool. Yeah, definitely, Amish. I mean, if you're a subscriber too, and you let me know, if you prove that you're a subscriber, I'll definitely give you a good rate. Yeah, if you're in a supermarket in New York, or you live in New York, period, you are definitely on the front line. I almost think that living in New York is more dangerous in general than even me working in the hospital and going into the dang rooms. Yeah. I mean, I've been in tons of COVID rooms, so tons of rooms with the patients. What I'm doing right now is actually I'm training the healthcare staff to do more advanced IV placements and to get better at their IV skills and to get better at doing labs. So they have a COVID lockdown unit in the hospital where it's only COVID patients or people highly suspected to have it. The problem is this test takes quite a while to find out if a person actually has it or not. But starting like this upcoming week here, we're gonna have a much faster test, so we'll be able to find out sooner. But this lockdown unit, they want it to be self-sufficient. So they want the nurses there to be able to do everything because they don't want to have a lot of traffic in and out. They don't want anyone in there that doesn't need to be in there. So they've been having me come in and my team and like train people to do IVs a little bit better, to be able to do better lab draws. And so being a vascular nurse, that's what I've been doing lately. So I'm a YouTuber and I'm a nurse. But New York was really bad. I heard for a while New York had a death every 10 minutes. That's what I heard. And that's pretty scary. I mean, that's just unheard of to me. We definitely have, healthcare workers getting sick, and people that work at supermarkets, people that work at places that are considered essential where they have to stay open, they're exposed too. I mean, they're basically frontline as well. So we don't need, there's a lot of support for the nurses. There's a lot of support for doctors right now, but not a lot of support for the other businesses that are considered essential. They're having to stay out, stay open. Granted, they get a paycheck, which is nice. I mean, a lot of you guys are probably having to file unemployment, but they're getting a paycheck, but at the same time, they are at risk as well. Some people said, well, what about H1N1? H1N1 wasn't that bad, and, they're trying to make comparisons between H1N1 and COVID. Well, the difference is, I believe in the stats that I saw, H1N1 had 60 million cases, and it had about 12,000 deaths. But recently, coronavirus or COVID-19 had 200,000 cases, and it had about 4,000 deaths. But if you end up looking at the ratio, if you take 60 million H1N1 cases, divide that by 200,000 COVID cases, you get roughly 300 times. That's the ratio. Take 300 times 4,000 deaths from COVID, and that would be 1.2 million deaths. If we had the same amount of cases of coronavirus as we did H1N1, we could have 1.2 million deaths. That's the rate of infection essentially, and the rate of death. Like, it's the mortality rate. So if we did nothing and we didn't prevent this, and we let it get as out of control and have as many cases as what H1N1 would, if my math is correct, we would have 300 times more deaths, and that would be 1.2 million deaths. That would suck. I mean, that's not something that I don't want my family on the gambling. I don't want to gamble with my family's life. I don't know about anyone else. So if you hear people talking about, you know, that it's not that bad, it's not that bad because we've been staying ahead. If we don't stay ahead, we can run out of hospital supplies. We can run out of staff to fill the hospitals. The last few shifts that I worked, nurses walked off the floor and quit. So we have a lot of people quitting. People are in trouble. If we have, you know, a run out of resources like ventilators, people are in trouble. So that is my logic, being a healthcare worker, and what I've been seeing happen. So I just figured I'd mention that to you guys so that you understand kind of where we're coming from when we're really kind of harsh on people staying at home. It's for a good reason. It's because we don't want to make life and death decisions for our patients. We want every patient to survive. But if we become like Italy, where they run out of supplies, they run out of ventilators and such, Italy was not treating people that were like over 80 or something ridiculous. They were just, nope, we're not treating them. That's ridiculous to me. I can't fathom that. So I don't want to get to that point. I don't want us having to choose who lives and who dies. I would like, as a nurse, to be able to treat everyone, and hopefully they get better. So, yeah, just, I don't know your guys' opinions on it. I know there's also people that have conspiracies that it's government, whatever, but that doesn't change anything. Even if it is government caused, or this is some big conspiracy, we still have to treat these people. We still have to do some of these same things to prevent the virus from spreading. So the whole idea of a conspiracy is just a distraction from what we still need to be doing to prevent it from getting worse. So anyway, that's the Skiff build. And that was my little chat on in regards to the COVID lockdown and I guess my experiences through healthcare. I appreciate all the companies that have come forward and tried to help and make gear for nurses. If you are going to a place that's an essential business, make sure you tell them thank you. You know, just courtesy. And yeah, we'll let you go. I think it's gonna probably rain. We got some dark clouds coming here, and I still gotta get some of the stuff inside that I don't want to get rained on. So, signing out.